Morning, friends. I greet all of the Indians on 75th Republic Day today. That's very special, and it's one of the landmarks Republic Days, 75th, and we're celebrating with so much of pomp and show, the heartiest zeal and fervor. And no doubt, when I was watching the parades in different states, watching the foreign dignitary and the guest of honor, Macron from France, whose sixth visit added so much of charm and splendor to the ongoing pageantry, extravagances, to the reclamation of India's robust democratic fabric, its unflinching faith in the democratic principles enshrined in the preamble that Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar envisaged, envisions. And I must salute Dr. Bhimrao, who with his Constituent Assembly not only drafted the Constituent Assembly, but also come up with the provisions for the safeguards for all communities marginalized over the years, those who have been subjugated, who have been offered the equal opportunities to grow, to prosper. So our constitution is a mix, drafts with virtues from all of the world's constitutions, the largest, the most expensive, with the provisions for all statutes of fundamental rights, directive principle state policies, democratic vision, our independent judiciary being at the apex of the bodies with the checks and balances and the democratic norms, and executives, legislatives, and all the judiciaries, they make sure that the democracy thrives with its values intact, with the affordance of justice, equality, fraternity that were stipulated to the cornerstones of the drafting the constitution, which came into being on 26th of Jan, although it was ready, but a year ago, and you could have had this, but on this special occasion, day 26th Jan, we dedicated this, one of the best manuscripts ever scripted, to ourselves, to our own people, to our own brethren, and we vowed to advance the basic principles enshrined in our constitution, and with the electioneering going on every 5 years, with an ongoing Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha and all the constituent assemblies, our legislators, our statesmen, our lawmakers, they have been toiling hard to keep the constitution in totality, regardless of the amendments that may amount to more than what we had constituted it for. And that's the heart of a constitution, that we have ample provisions for bringing about modifications, changes whenever is warranted, and it's just meant to keep our democracy further strengthened, more agile, keeping with the pace, with the advancements of science technology, our future growth, our envisaged dreams of having justice system, fair trials, and access to justice for every individual, also without any discrimination, of any sorts on the basis of caste, color, creed, biases. And no doubt I have witnessed all of this in its totality. There could be certain instances where we might feel disgruntled because there have been some flagrant violations or tampering with but that's the cardinal principle of that we may keep doing errors, may make mistakes, but there's always provisions for rectifying, always provisions for penance, also always provisions for innocent people not being punished, and our justice system ensure that even hundreds may go scot-free, but an innocent person shouldn't bear the brunt of the injustice of unfairness. So today's Jubilee celebration with our president addressing our nations, giving a clarion call to women who are our integral other half, and if you don't take care of them, if they're not at the forefront of all challenges and aspirations, India cannot be ranked among one of the progressive, fast progressive, or developed countries. In fact, we have stopped calling any country as a developing one because this is derogatory, and every country is struggling to advance its legitimate rights and duties, bring about welfare to the commoners, regardless of whatever form of government we pursue. So India is hoping to, by 2035, to get crashed in the exclusive club of those 5 advanced nations that have already proved to be called advanced or developed, although it's a relative term and there are no actual descriptors, except that we have some other indicators that most of the masses should be brought above the poverty line. Everyone should have the purchasing power, and all our other infrastructurally we should be so robust that we could produce all our consumable items and goods and services, and we could have a fair state nation where we have social parity, we have gender parity, we have all kinds of provisions for the well-being and the good health system. No doubt India is marching fast and is inching towards and is progressing by leaps and bounds with space technology, with robust and economic infrastructure, with this heavy investment in the 5 education policies, NEP, National Education Policy 2020, and bring about all the required changes that would catapult this nation to one of the best, one of the most progressive, because we account for 1/5 of the entire populace of the world, and our job, our responsibility is humongous. We cannot shy away from our responsibility of leading the world towards Vasudev Kutumbakam, and where we pave the way, we lead the rest of nations, we show them the paths with our enriched legacy, our civilization of thousands of years, without so much of scuffle of feuds or contending for rivalry. Has to be a healthy competition among the community. Should learn to get together, to go shoulder to shoulder, to work towards the upliftment of the commoners, to realize the dreams enshrined in the constitutions. Especially I'll talk about fundamental rights, fundamental duties, also the what we call the 10th schedule of our constitution, where we have provisions for the government as a blueprint, as a guiding principles that every government will strive to achieve in part. Not possibly any single government can. Obviously, it was a dream of the yesteryear's governments that they brought about infrastructure changes, brought India from revolution to revolution, from one stage to the other. It had a larger population above the poverty line. It created wealth. It created agriculture subsistence, which remains the mainstay of India's economy. 70 to 80% people involved in. We killed hunger. We also overcame dreaded diseases. We controlled mortality rate. We also controlled child infanticides, also mortality among children. It used to be notorious. India could only boast of 20 to 25 crores of population. Obviously, adding to the masses also requires enough provisions for them to be fed and to live a dignified life with employability assurance, with generation of so much wealth that every individual should have the opportunity to grow, to prosper, and also provisions for the coexistence in a composite way where minorities, they feel as if they're in the safer hands and they are the smaller brothers, and with one family that's called India. And we must learn, as we have been doing, the coexistence of without any culture shocks or without any culture tussles or feuds. That has brought a bad name and it's a stigma. And I have witnessed many of these republic celebrations, and also I've listened to the speech given by head of states, right from those run by the Congress government, where Indira Gandhi, then Rajiv Gandhi, who visualized and gave fillip to the science technological advancement in India. And I must say that he was a visionary who thought of what today's digital India is all about. In fact, 2.0 spectrum and all, and bringing internet, bringing computerization, having its own Param computer, supercomputer. So I vividly remember those days when India was struggling to have its own cryogenic engine. And now it's able to go to the moon, lands there in the South Pole, which is most difficult, and also vying to be one of front runners among spacefaring nations with its own credibility and own launching pads and launching facilities, and also giving these kind of services on commercial basis. So no doubt it's a landmark achievement for a colonized nation which has been looted, which has been robbed and ruined, and also wantonly. And our literacy rate was so low, and was so we were in such a deep mess that it only talks about the visions, the right kind of roadmaps that our previous head of the states and government, and their dreams are getting fulfilled in one sense, because our youths are thriving. We have the largest pool of technologically skilled people all over the world. India remains, proudly the largest donor of technocrats, and no doubt we have the best doctors, the best engineers, the best programmers, the best CEOs, and all the big companies that are making billions. And that we find that a couple of Indians are behind the scene working or being as at the helm of affairs. No doubt it is Sundar Pichai running Google, whether it's Nadella working for Microsoft, whether it's Murthy and Infosystem, and whether it's Mahindra and Tata and all those. They have lived up to the expectation. They've created a credible reputation of being the most successful business houses. All the pageantry from the States, they talk highly of women's meaty role and substantial contribution towards the upliftment of the country. Women, if left behind, we're going to be left behind in all spheres of life. Let women take the lead, participate, work shoulder to shoulder, fly the Tejas airplane, a fighter plane, go to space, run the houses, run the factories, become the CEOs, get the empowerment, feminism, post-feminism, all those, and movements, women should make a mark of their own wherever they are, whatever they do, and we men have to stand like a rock to support them, because family happens to be the best tuition, the best school, and children, if they're not trained well in their formative years by the literate mother, so we have to raise the literacy rate that is abysmally low even today. We also have to have institutional marriage institution as an institution where men, women, they have equal rights to betrothed, to thrive, to work together. And women in general, it's not about enfranchisement and that we already had long ago, even before Europeans could think of, but real empowerment in the sense that it's not just the vote alone, but the actual participation in the proceedings, in the decision-making process, in taking vital and constructive resolutions where they are not seen as subsidiary or secondary or perhaps looked down upon as it has been. They have borne the brunt of and victimized in the sense that they haven't been given equal opportunities. So it's Narish Sashktikaran, women empowerment true sense, women leading on all fronts, women to be restored to their actual positions, and women making the mark in all the fields. Hail India and India's marching towards prosperity, marching towards one of the largest democracy, which can deliver its promises to all its 1.5 billion, nearly 1/5 of the entire world's population. I greet every Indian, and I feel proud of being part of it, and talking to and sending my best wishes, heartiest congratulations on the successful celebrations with guests from outside and the whole world witnessing as if India is not what is being thought of as one of the struggling nations, but as one of the partners with the world's strongest nations, along with the first five, along with those with the veto powers in the UN Assembly, along with those that can run the policy and frameworks and can rule the roost. So once again, be Indian, be a proud Indian, promote Indian, made in India, and all that slogans are not hollow words. Actually, we have to live up to that. Jai Hind.